Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parampara. In our last satsanga, we were discussing about the first shloka in the Gita Dhyanam. We are studying Gita Dhyana first, that is before entering into the study of Bhagavad Gita, because it clears many doubts regarding Bhagavad Gita and give a clean picture about what Gita is. But we are not going to learn it in detail, just the meaning and practical implications. So in the first shloka, we have taken an oath, a pledge to follow Bhagavad Gita in our life, and we saw that Bhagavad Gita is the destroyer of ignorance and the bestower of immortality. Advaita Amrita Varshini. And it is a teaching which was directly imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan, Narayana himself, and which was elaborately wrought by Bhagavan Vyasa. So here we get a clarity regarding the question, how can such a long teaching be delivered, a sermon be delivered in a battlefield, when both the armies are ready to fight? Bhagavan Vedavyasa only wrote this. All the words and verses of Gita are not uttered by Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, but wrought by Bhagavan Vedavyasa. However, it is Bhagavan. Now, we are going to the second verse, where we will see one of the greatest ideas, or we can say the greatness of Sanatana Dharma. How? See the second sloka. Namostute Vyasa Vishal-buddhi Bhullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Namostute Vyasa Vishal-buddhi Bhullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. See, in this sloka, we are doing our namaskar, we are prostrating before Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. And it is said, Namostute Vyasa, O Vyasa, unto you my prostrations. I am prostrating you. That is with full respect and dedication. I am submitting myself before you. Before whom? Before Vyasa. Vyasa is not a name. Vyasa is an epithet that came from what he did. That is, Vivyasa Vedan iti Vyasa. Vivyasa Vedan iti Vyasa. We can call Veda Vyasa also. That means one who had edited Vedas. That means he edited Vedas and divided into four sections. That is the meaning of Vyasa. Here, there is a scope for an argument or a debate. Because even before Vyasa, there were sections like or divisions like Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. That is very evident from the suktas of Veda itself. For example, in the Purusha Sukta, which is repeated in almost all Veda Samhitas like Rik, Yajus, Sama, and Atharva, there it is very clearly said, Rajas Samani Jatnire, Chandamsi Jatnire, Yajur Tasmad Ajayata. Such mantras are there in the Purusha Sutta itself. And it is a part of a Samhita. That means, or that shows, even before Bhagavan Veda Vyasa, there were Rik, Yajus, Sama, and Atharva. Then how can you say Vyasa divided them into four? You cannot say. This is the argument. Yes, we are admitting that. There is no doubt that even before Veda Vyasa, Veda was divided into four, namely Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. It is not a division brought in by Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. Even before him it was there. But Vyasa established a system of studying Veda by dividing them into four and entrusting the responsibility of spreading Vedas to four of his disciples. That means Bhagavan Vedavyasa entrusted the duty to teach Rigveda to sage Paila and Yajurveda to Vaishambhayana, Samaveda to Jaimini, and Atharva Veda to Sumantu. These are the four disciples of Vedavyasa who propagated Veda in later times. They became the acharyas of these four Vedas respectively. So, by making an arrangement to spread the teaching of Veda, Bhagavan Vedavyasa became an instrument, or he started this tradition of Veda, and therefore, even though these four sections of Veda, namely Rigveda, Yajurveda, and all, were there even before Vedavyasa, we are considering him as one who edited these four. And thereby he spread the, the, the tradition of Vedic teaching. So such a great sage from whom we got even the Vedas. And of course, all the Puranas and Itihasa, that is Mahabharata, and many other Shastras. Unto him we are offering our namaskara. O Vyasa, namastude. Unto you I am prostrating. And then he is called Vishal-buddhi, of broad intellect. Of broad intellect. How can we call Vyasa by any other name? One who edited the whole of Vedas, one who wrote Mahabharata Itihasa, which is considered as the fifth Veda. It is said in the Puranas, Mahabharatam Nama Panjamo Veda. Mahabharatam Nama Panjamo Veda. Mahabharata is fifth Veda. And as an explanation to this Veda, all the 18 Mahabharatas, which are the treasure on which the wealthy Sanatana Dharma is based, 18 Mahabharatas. So, who wrote all this? We are calling him by the name Vishal-buddhi, of broad intellect, who knows everything. Bhullara Vindayada Patra Netra. O Vyasa, who is with eyes just like petals of bloomed lotus. Unto you I am prostrating. So when we hear this part of words, we will have to change the picture we are keeping in mind. That is, almost everywhere I have seen a picture with a long white beard, a very old fellow with eyes in deep, and always all everywhere in the face wrinkles. No, that is not the form of Vyasa. If it is the form of the Vyasa, we have to change this verse. Or we are accepting this verse, we have to change that photograph or picture. What he will do, I don't know. We are having our freedom. But here Vyasa is mentioned as one with eyes like petals of lotus. That too Aravinda. Bullara-vindayada patranet. Aravinda is red lotus. So such a beautiful eye he is having. He is not having such a figure we are seeing in these pictures. See, when we project our acharyas in front of youngsters, it must be such an icon that they will receive, they will accept. If we are portraying all our acharyas like old men with wrinkled skin, white hairs, no youngsters will follow them. They will think all these are for elders, all retired people, not for us. So this picture of Vyasa, we have to take inside and spread outside. See, one with eyes like petals of bloomed lotus. That's the beautiful eyes of Vyasa. Now, let us go to the next part. Yena tvaya bharata taila purna prajwalido jnanamayah pradeepaha. Yena tvaya, by whom? Yena tvaya means by whom? Tvaya means by you. But when we add yena, the meaning changes, like by whom. Bharata taila purnaha prajwalitaha jnanamayaha pradeepaha. The lamp of knowledge was lit. So by whom the lamp of knowledge or wisdom was lit? How? Bharata taila purnaha, filled with the oil, which is Mahabharata. See, here there is a great message. And this message we have to understand as the greatness of Sanatana Dharma. See, Mahabharata is considered as the fifth Veda. It is written to elaborate the ideas enshrined or the teachings enshrined in the Vedas. Vedoba Brahmanarthaya, to elaborate the teachings of Veda. It is for what Mahabharata was written. And just after Veda, we are giving importance to Mahabharata. That is the order. Veda, then Itihasas, then Puranas. So it is a primary text of Sanatana Dharma. It is a primary text of Sanatana Dharma. It being so, normally we would call it as the lamp. Normally we would call it as the light. But here, the knowledge or the wisdom is called by the name lamp or light. And Mahabharata is considered as the oil in that lamp. See, what message is conveyed there? The message is the lamp or light is the knowledge, not the book. Not the book. We are not for books. We are worshipping Vedas. We will put all the Vedas in highest position and we will worship. And we will worship Mahabharata and Ramayana and we will put them in the highest position, no doubt. But they are not the highest. The highest is the knowledge. The knowledge we are getting from them, not the books. Books we are taking as secondary, which are giving that light of knowledge to the world. So this is the idea. This is the greatness of Sanatana Dharma. Because no other religion can consider their primary text as something secondary. Just think. Here, importance is given to the knowledge, not the book. Not to the book. Of course, we are respecting book, no doubt at all. But here the book is considered as the oil and the knowledge as the light. When we burn a lamp, actually what is burning? The lamp is not burning. If the lamp also is burning, we will not do it because we purchased it with money. If we are burning the lamp, we will not burn it again. And then what is burning? The wick? No, the oil is burning. Oil is burning through the wick kept on the lamp. That means by giving the knowledge on the wisdom to the world, the book is getting depleted. This is a great idea. Books are not for books. Veda is not for Veda. Mahabharata is not for Mahabharata. Ramayana is not for Ramayana. And Puranas are not for Puranas. But they are for giving light to the world. So importance is given to the light, not to the book. This is a vision which we must have, and of course we have this vision, and therefore we are Sanatana Dharmas. Otherwise we will fight with others. My book is the greatest one. This is God given. There is no other book in the world like this. This is the first and prominent one. And we will fight in better way. Here, for us, we respect and worship all books, all the books. But we are not considering them as primary. And then what is primary? The knowledge which is being imparted. And therefore it is said, Yena tvaya bharada taila purnaha prajwalitaha jnanamayaha pradipaha. That lamp of wisdom, or that lamp of knowledge, which is filled by the oil, Mahabharata, has been lighted by you. It is lit by you. Such Veda Vyasa, I am prostrating unto thee. See? So, when engaging in scriptural studies and following all the sadhanas in our life, we must keep this idea. All the books, all the teachings, all the disciplines we are following, all are for having that knowledge. And knowledge is supreme. That is our concept. Let us have this within. So once more, let us see that shloka once more, and then we'll go to the next one. Namostu te vyasa Vishal-buddhe Bhullaravindayata patra netra Yena tvaya bharada taila purna Prajwalito jnanamaya pradeepaha. So this is the order. In the first shloka, we took a pledge to follow Bhagavad Gita, the mother, and the second, we prostrated before Bhagavan Veda Vyasa, who gave this teaching to us. And in the third, we are going to prostrate, worship Bhagavan Shri Krishna. How? See? Prapanna parijataya totra vetraika panaye jnana mudraya krishnaya Gitamrita duhe namaha. Prapanna parijataya totra vetraika panaye jnana mudraya krishnaya Gita Duhe Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. Unto Krishna, my prostrations. I am doing namaskar in front of Krishna. Why? And which Krishna? All other words are describing that. And these words, if we are studying with a focused attention, will give a picture of what Bhagavad Gita is. See, in the first word it is said, Prapanna Parijataya. And in the second it is said, Totra Vetraika Pani. First is Prapanna Parijataha. Second is Totra Vetraika Pani. Then third is Jnana Mudraha. Such Krishna, who is having these three qualities. One is, he is the Parijata. I don't know how to translate Parijata because there is no translation. It is Parijata. Parijata is Parijata. So it is said that there is a tree in the celestial world, Swarga. I don't know. I have not gone there. But it is said there is a tree in the Swarga. If we approach that and sit under that and wish something, it will be bestowed. So it is believed. So for the sake of studying this sloka, let us take that. Don't think whether such a tree is there or not. It is not required here. If there is such a tree, let it be there. I am not at all interested. I am interested in the message conveyed. That is, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is the bestower of all the wishes. Bestower of all the wishes. Of whom Prapannanam Parijataha, Prapanna Parijataha. Prapanna is fully dedicated. Or in other words, those who are submitted, those who have that fullest submission, dedication, they are prapannas. That is, having no separate identity from Bhagavan. In the initial stages of our devotion, of course, we will pray, we will praise, but at the same time, we will be keeping a separate identity from Bhagavan. It is different from him. But here, when one is prapanna, with that fullest surrender or fullest dedication or submission, there is no separate identity. That is gone. That separate identity is dissolved. He is a prapanna. So for such prapannas, Bhagavan is a parijata. That means he is the bestower of all the wishes. All the wishes. So this particular name, that is Prapanna Parijataha, shows the message of Bhakti Yoga. Because this submission or this surrender is coming from real dedication or devotion. And it is the result of pure bhakti. So, This word, Prapanna Parijata, is referring to Bhakti Yoga, which is a subject matter in the Gita. Now let us go to the second. That is Totra Vetraika Pani. In Ekapani, Ekapani means one hand, one arm. Bhagavan is holding a whip. Why? He is the driver now. He had to drive the horses. To drive the horses, one must have a whip. And Bhagavan is holding that. So in one hand, there is a whip with which Bhagavan is driving the chariot of Arjuna. So here we are worshipping or we are prostrating before that Bhagavan who is standing or sitting with a whip in one hand. What is the message? What we have to learn from this? Just think. Bhagavan is holding that whip as a part of his duty. The karma he accepted. As he has accepted that karma, that fraud, as the driver of Arjuna, it is his karma now. He has accepted that karma. Even though Bhagavan do not have any duties or responsibilities in this world, as he is all-knowing, he is all-pervading, he is all-powerful, there is no separate duty or responsibility for him. But at the same time, he has accepted this duty. I will drive your vehicle. So, Bhagavan is only a driver now. And therefore, whip is in his hand. That means it is a part of his karma. Arjuna is sitting, getting rid of all the arms. But here Bhagavan is sitting with whip in his hand. He didn't renounce. He is holding the karma upadhi. So that shows the karma yoga which has been taught in the Gita. Because Bhagavan is not getting any reward from driving the Arjuna's vehicle. He is not getting salary. He is not getting any wages. So without calculating or thinking about the fruits of action, Bhagavan is doing. So he is showing the model of a karma yogi by holding whips. So first bhakti yoga and then karma yoga. Then the third name is Jnana Mudraha. See, this is Jnana Mudra. In Jnana Mudra, we get the summary of Vedantic teaching. The whole of Veda is summarized in the Upanishads. That is why we are calling the Upanishads by the name Vedanta. It is the end of knowledge. And the whole teaching of Vedanta is summarized through the Mahavakyas. There are 4 Mahavakyas, widely accepted Mahavakyas, even though there are hundreds of Mahavakyas in the Upanishads. 4 are widely accepted. Like Prajnanam Brahma in the Rigveda, Aham Brahmasmi in the Yajurveda, Tattvamasi in the Samaveda, and Ayam Atma Brahma in the Atharva Veda. These are the main Mahavakyas. So if somebody asked to symbolize Mahavakya through a symbol, this is the Jnana Mudra. The whole of Mahavakya, the whole of Upanishads is there in this mudra. See, normally we are holding our arms like this. I don't know whether you are seeing or not. Yes, now it is clear. This is the position of normal hands. The hands of some persons will be like this, but I am holding like this. This is the normal position. So here, see, these four fingers are separately standing from this. Now in the Jnana Mudra, what is happening? What is happening? Like this, these two are becoming one. There is no beginning, there is no end. It is just a circle. In a circle, there is no beginning, there is no end. There is no separate identity. Now these three has gone afar. So Jiva is always staying or standing with Prakriti. Prakriti is with the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And as long as Jiva is standing or staying with the Prakriti, Ishvara is away from him. Ishvara is different from him. Now, with the sadhanas, with vichara, with the practices, Jiva is getting bent. Ishvara will not get bent. Ishvara will stand like that. And Jiva is bending. That is all the ego is going, disappearing. And with that knowledge, I am that. I am that. There is no difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Jivatma and Paramatma are not two entities, no. One without a second. So with that knowledge, it is merging with this Ishvara. Now both has become one. Then the Prakriti, three gunas are separated. Now they are not disturbing the Jiva. They cannot disturb the Jiva. They cannot make pain and pleasure in Jiva anymore. Because he is now one with the Ishvara. He is in that absolute knowledge of I am that. So this Jnana Mudra is being shown here. What is the message? It is the message of Jnana Yoga. So these are the three yogas taught in the Gita. That is Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And here Bhagavan himself is standing as the very embodiment of or very personification of these three yogas. That is Prapanna Parijataha, then second Totra Vetraika Pani, then the third Jnana Mudra. To such Krishna, I am prostrating. Who is that Krishna? He is Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. He is the milker of Gitamrita. Gitamrita Duhe Nama means the milker of the Gitamrita. He is the milkman who milked all the Upanishads that we will see in the next shloka. But here, two more words are there. One is Krishna. And the second is Gitamrita Duhu. Who is Krishna? Krishna, the meaning of Krishna is There are many meanings. One, the first meaning is one with a black skin. Krishno varnashta yasmad me tasmad krishnoham. So says Bhagavan in the Harivaksha. As my color of the skin is black, my name is Krishna. Then another meaning is Karshanad Krishna. Karshanad Krishna, who is attracting everybody, who is attracting the whole world. He is Krishna. By his divine place. By his divine place, Krishna always attracts everybody towards him. All the people around are being pulled by Bhagavan just by his place, his very appearance, his songs, his music. So he is attracting everybody and therefore he is Krishna, Karshanat Krishna. Or in other words, we can say he is attracting every jivas to him at the time of pralaya. When all the manifestations are getting dissolved back, they are getting back into that from which everything manifested. To the cause. And he is the cause. To the cause, all the manifestations are going back. And therefore he is Krishna. And another meaning is Krishi Bhuvachaka Prokto Nascha Nirvruti Vachakaha. Krishi Bhuvachakaha. That means Krishi shows existence. Existence. And Na means bliss. Nascha Nirvruti Vachakaha. So existence and bliss together, that is Sat plus Ananda. Sadananda. When we think about Sat, we must add Chit also. When we think about Ananda, we must add Sat and Chit. So Krishna means Sat plus Ananda. Krish Bhuvachaka Prokto Nascha Naruvruti Vachakaha. So one who is of the form of absolute existence and bliss absolute is Krishna. So that Sachidananda is manifested in front of us as Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That must be attitude we must have with him. Krishnaya. And finally, Gitamrita Duhe Dava. Duh, one who is milking. Milking means milking cows. So Bhagavan is the man who milked Gitamritam, the nectar. That is Bhagavad Gita. The teaching that gives us immortality. And see, here Gita is called by the name, it is the milk. And Bhagavan has milked it. That means Gita is not a primary teaching. It has been drawn from somewhere else. There is a source. There is a source from which Bhagavan brought this Gita to us. What is that source? From where Bhagavan took this Gita? That is explained in the 4th Sloka, and that we will see in our next sitting. So here, in our last class, while concluding, I have asked how we should go forward. A superficial study or in-depth study, what you need. So many of you has responded that we want an in-depth study. That's good. As majority has asked for in-depth study, we will follow that way. So not exhaustive, because it will take years and years and years. For that we are not going. But at the same time, we must know what Gita teaches. To understand that, In that way, we will study. So before concluding, you can ask whatever you want to ask. If you have any doubt or question, feel free to ask. Namaste. And before going to that question and answer session, let me say, we are having a 3-day retreat. 3-day retreat in the state of California from this September 18, that is September 18, 19, and 20. We will have a 3-day retreat. And of course, our Swamiji is there from California. I think before concluding, she will speak something about this retreat. So now we can go to question and answer session. If you want to ask anything, feel free to ask. Namaste.
Swamiji, we have a question in the chat from Ranjini Saigalji. Her question is, if Veda Vyasa assigned the different Vedas to different rishis, then what did Adi Shankaracharya do?
See, we are considering Bhagavan Veda Vyasa as one who has edited the Vedas. In the Puranas, many Puranas, not only the many Puranas, almost all Puranas, we will get a description that Bhagavan Veda Vyasa divided Veda into 4 categories. As Veda was one, and Veda Vyasa, that is Dvaipayana, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, divided them into 4 and made them Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. That is the description we are getting from all Puranas. But as a matter of fact, we cannot take this in the verbal meaning. Why? Because even before Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, in the Samhita portion itself, we can see there were Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. So even before Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, Veda was divided into 4. That's why we are getting that from Purusha Sukta itself. Then what Vyasa did? He made a tradition, a system to spread Veda by dividing and attributing certain parts to his Shishyas, disciples. That is why we are considering him as Veda Vyasa. Not that he divided them into 4, but he attributed such and such parts to such and such disciple. And as per the tradition, we know that Rigveda has been given to Paila, the sage Paila, who is a disciple of Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. Yajurveda to Vaishambhayana, and Samaveda to Jaimini, and Atharva Veda to Sumantu. So these are the acharyas, Paila, Vaishambhayana, Jaimini, and Sumantu, who became the first acharyas of these 4 Vedas. And through their parampara, that is Shishya parampara, the lineage of Shishyas, the study of Veda flourished. Because when everybody studies all the parts, it will not flourish. But when specialization happens, you focus on this, you focus on this. Like that, when 4 traditions emerged, that spread. That is the way how Veda Vyasa spread or established a tradition of Vedic teaching. And we are considering him as Veda Vyasa. That is the one who has edited the Vedas. Not that he started the four segments? No. That were there before him. But he tried to spread. And therefore, the disciples of Bhagavan Vedavyasa are the first acharyas in this yuga who spread Veda. Then comes the second part of question. Then what Shankaracharya did? Bhagavan Bhashyakara wrote bhashyas on the major Upanishads. Bhagavan Vedavyasa never wrote any bhashya on Vedas. No. On the Samhita portion, he didn't write bhashya. He didn't divide Vedas. Bhagavan Bhashyakara, he wrote exhaustive bhashyas on all the major Upanishads. And of course, as Bhagavad Gita is a summary of all the Upanishads, he wrote bhashya on Bhagavad Gita also. And as Brahma Sutra is teaching, what is the real import of Upanishads are, he wrote bhashya on Brahma Sutra also. So by writing these bhashyas for the Prasthana Traya and establishing such a tradition of learning, that is, study Prasthana Traya, to understand the crux of Sanatana Dharma, that system was established by Bhagavan Bhashyakara, that is Shankaracharya. So he didn't write any commentary on Samhita, Veda Samhita. But of course, some parts of Samhita are there among the Upanishads. For example, the 40th chapter of the Shukla Yajurveda Samhita is called by the name Ishavasya Upanishad. And it is one among the major Upanishads. And therefore, while writing Bhashya to major Upanishads, Bhagavan took that also. Bhashyakara took that also. In that way, Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Shankaracharya wrote a commentary on certain parts of Veda, not Veda as a whole. So this is the answer to that question. Namaste. Anything more?
No, so I think Dr. Kamla Unikrishnan has a question. Dr. Kamlaji, please go ahead.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Yeah, the first chapter is named Vishada Yoga. How is this Vishada becomes a yoga?
That's a good question, but we have to find that answer when we study that first chapter. We didn't enter to that. We are now only studying the first chapter, then only Gita Dhyanam, and after that we will go to the first chapter. But however you asked, the answer is, normally Vishada is not a yoga, it is a roga. Vishada is a roga, an illness. Vishada is an illness. It is not a yoga. But here, Arjuna approached a great teacher. Arjuna approached a great teacher who can take him above this Vishada, despondency, who can help Arjuna to get over that despondency. And therefore, as he approached the teacher, he accepted the teaching from the teacher. Yoga became yoga. See, in our life, everybody do have many confusions, many state of confusions, despondency, so many. We face many problems in our life. But always there is a solution. If there is a problem, there is a solution. If there is no solution, it is not called a problem. See, always our individuality will be shattered when we face problems. No, there is a solution. If you cannot find out that solution, approach great men, wise teachers. They will show you the way, the path to cross that problem. That is the message. So, by approaching the Jagat Guru, Arjuna crossed that despondency. And therefore, we got the Vishada Yoga. Otherwise, Vishada is a yoga. So that is the message. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Rajgopal ji, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste.
My question is related to Vedas. Basically, you mentioned, can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Vedas are divided into 4. That is what our understanding is. And my question is, what is the criteria used in dividing Vedas into 4? That is question number 1. Number 2 is, in Krishna actually specifies only 3 Vedas in Gita. Rik, Sama, Yajure, Vacha, that is what he says. So only one Veda is actually missed. What is the reason for that? And the third question is, I consider Veda as actually a science. So the Veda mantras are resulted from explorations, basically. So if a new Veda mantra is discovered in future or even now, to which branch it will go, or will a 5th Veda will come out? That is my purpose.
See, when we talk about Vedas, always we consider them as divided into four branches or 4 segments. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. There is no doubt at all. There are 4. But if we are ready to look some more deeper, there are 5, not 4. Because Yajurveda itself is divided into 2 segments, that is Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. So there are 5 Vedas, 5 categories: Rigveda, Krishna Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. So, however, these 5 are parts of these 4. Now comes how we are dividing. What is the criteria? When we look into that, see, there are 3 types of Veda mantras. Not 4 types, only 3 types. That is, let me use one Samskrita Shabda, Lakshana. There are 3 Lakshanas. One Rig Lakshana, the second is Yajur Lakshana, the third is Sama Lakshana. There is no 4th Lakshana. Only 3 Lakshanas are there. One is Rig, the second is Yajus, and third is Sama. What is Rig? Niyata Padakshara Baddho Rig. That is the Lakshana of Rig. Niyata Padakshara Baddha. That is divided into certain number of padas, lines, with certain number of aksharas. Akshara is not alphabet. Alphabet is varna. When varnas put together, make akshara. For example, K plus A equals Ka. K plus E, Ki. K plus O, Ku, like that. So, in one line, certain number of aksharas, for example, 8 or 12 or 11, like that, or 6. Certain number of aksharas in certain number of padas means that is a rik. That is in the in the form of a poem. The second is Aniyata Padakshara Baddho Yajuhu. Aniyata Padakshara Baddho Yajuhu. Where there is no such a rule like division of lines into certain number of aksharas, that is called yajus. And then there is sama. Sama is, really it is music. Sama is music, song. That is along with the line specification or akshara specification, there will be swaras. There will be swaras. And there are two types, Panja Bhaktigam, Sapta Bhaktigam, like that. I'm not an expert in that. The music part, I'm not an expert. But however, it is a song form. So these are the three forms of Vedic mantras. And Rik put together make Rigveda, Is put together make Yajurveda, Samans put together make Samaveda. And that part, which is having all these three, is Atharva Veda. So in the Atharva Veda, we can see many mantras belonging to the category Ruk, many other mantras belonging to the category Yajus, and of course some mantras, only a few mantras belonging to the category Sam. But in Rigveda, only Riks are there. It is an anthology of Riks. In the same way, Yajus, there are only Yajus. So that is the way how these four are compiled. All these are matters of compilation. Now, the third part of the question, of course, the subject matter of all mantras are revelations. We never call a rishi the author of mantra. We never call a rishi as the author of mantra, but we call to whom it is revealed. That is the meaning of rishi, rishayo mantra dashtaraha. So the question is, if we are in later days, through our explorations, through our sadhanas, we are getting more and more revelations, to which category we will add that? See, how we are teaching that revelation to the world. The question is not connected with what revelation we are getting. The question is connected with how we are teaching to the world, how we are sharing that revelation with the world. If we are sharing to the world in the form of Rik, of course, it will be added to Rigveda. If we are teaching that in a prose, not a poetic word style, prose style, then it will be a part of Yajurveda. And if we are competent enough to make Sama, I don't know whether anybody is alive in the world to make new Sama. No, I don't think like that. There is no anybody in this world who can make a new Sama. No. It is finished. Of course, if somebody is there, then it will be added to Sama. But the problem is, there is a tradition of teaching. And this tradition, when it started, we do not know, but we can say thousands and thousands of years back, thousands and thousands of years back, this tradition of Vedic teaching has begun. Now, if we write something more, nobody will add to Vedic text. We can write it as a new or a separate book, and we are having full freedom to name our book Veda, a new Veda by Swami Chidananda Puri. We can write that, but nobody will accept it as Rigveda or Yajurveda or Samaveda or Atharvaveda. As the tradition of this Vedic teaching has begun thousands and thousands of years back, and many, many acharyas have given commentaries on that. So that is a fact. So we cannot add to Veda. We can elaborate Veda. We can explain Veda. We can write commentaries on Veda. If we are writing, we will be authors of that part. Let me repeat once more. If we are writing a new mantra, we are author. There are no authors in Vedic literature. Namaste. I think
Swami, yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yes, we have 3 questions, and we can, if that's okay, Govardhan Raoji, we can your question can go first next time. Is that okay? Because we have timed out. We do have 3 questions. If you're okay, Govardhan, yeah, we'll continue next class.
So we will conclude now. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.